Welcome to the 15th LOTTE Open, and a very, very good afternoon to you. We are coming at you live from the venue itself, which is the Bears Best in Chongna. It's going to be a very interesting day for us today. 29 degrees Celsius, the temperature. It's about 4.3 miles wind speeds, and cloudy skies, no rainfall predicted as of now, so we'll be happy about that. It's going to be an interesting time because we're looking at a full, complete par 72. Now, the Bears Best Chongna, of course, based in Incheon, it's about 6,111 meters that we're looking to cover. It's going to be an interesting battle for us. So 4 days to go, 4 rounds exactly, and we start off with the first round today. Ko Ji-yu, of course, is on to her 6th hole as she goes in for her 3rd stroke. It's going to be an interesting one for us, as I said, and there's a reason for it. If you just look back at how things have, panned out in the last few weeks, it is Ko Ji-yu who won the previous tournament, which is the McCall Mona Yongpyong Open that was worth 1 billion Korean won, and that was on the 29th of June. So she comes in with good stead. Lee Dong-gyun, she's on to her 7th hole. She's going into the 7-iron. It's a par 3 for the asking, currently with a 1 over score. Wind speeds, as I said, at 4.1 can be a little bit of a challenge. You can see the grass really dancing, neath the light, and that'll pretty much give you a Dong Seogu Incheon in Gyeongbuk, and it's a beautiful course. It does have a few, buildings surrounding it. Lee Ga-young onto her 3rd stroke for hole number 6. She is the other 2 golfers finished with a par in that last hole. During the playoff, she of course nailed the birdie. So it'll be interesting to see how she performs here today. A very, very interesting time for us. And now here is the golfer who's goes in with the 3rd stroke for hole number 6. Lee Won will always remind you, just like Hwang Yoo-min of the girl next door. Pretty decent placement from her. She's a very intelligent golfer. If it's up to about 5 or 5.5, and that normally happens, of course. The forces of nature are something that you and me can never control, and that's what makes it so interesting, isn't it? Park Hyun-kyung, one of my favorites. You do, of course, tend to of course, see that's a fine placement right there on the green. Don't think it should be too much of a worry. that well, some of our golfers, well, will get off to a good start today. Lee Jungmin onto a second stroke for hole 8. Going to find, well, the good and the bad. Lee won, will aim for birdie on hole number 6. He's on an even score. Well, she almost nailed it, didn't she? Gauged that very well. Well, I was so sure that that ball was going to move, a bit to the left, but I think she did understand the direction of the wind. And it's strange how like any other sport, you just get out there and you play, whether it's on the pitch or it's in an indoor court. In golf, to putting, Lee Dong-gyun, she'll aim to putt for hole number 7. Would have liked to have got it closer, I guess, to the tin cup, but it's at a bit of a distance for her. She'll aim for birdie here on hole 7. Up next, it's Ko Ji-yu. Looks to finish on par for hole number 6. She too is A very good afternoon to you, and welcome to the Bears Best Chongna which is right here in Gyeongsi Dong, Seogu, Incheon, Gyeongbuk. My name is Glenn Mascarenas, and I'm here to take you through the 15th Lotte Open. It is a really exciting tournament. I absolutely love it. I've been a part of it before, covering it. So, very, very interesting day for us. As we know, Koji Yu, of course, won the previous tournament, which was the McCall Mona Yongpyong Open, and that was worth 1 billion Korean won on the 29th of June. As Lee Yvonne gets ready to tee off here, let's very quickly remind you that wind speeds have been fairly high today at about 4.1, going all the way up to 5.5. It's the 7th hole for Lee Yvonne. She's got a hat trick of wins this year, so it'll be very rounds to look forward to, including the finale that'll be on Sunday. Not the best placement for Lee Yvonne, but it puts her in good contention of a birdie if she can master the wind direction. I think that should be pretty much, well, I wouldn't say a walk in the park for her, but something that she can achieve. Park Hyun Kyung, as she tees off for hole number 8, she's carrying an even score on the event. So all said and done, it looks to be an interesting probably getting acclimatized, but more importantly, also getting, well, just about familiar with conditions. And Park Hyun Kyung not too happy about her tee off. Lee Ga-young will tee off for hole 7. Remember, she is the defending champion here. She won this event last year in a 3-way playoff. Went down to a tie between her, Choi Rim, and Yoon Ina. Yoon Ina and Choi Rim, of course, finishing with an on par, while Lee Ga-young nailed it with a birdie. It'll be interesting because she's another golfer that's very intense, plays the part really well. Here's Choi Hae-jin as she looks to finish on par for hole 8. And I think it's going to be a bogey for her. Meanwhile, here's Koji Yu. Remember, when you win a tournament and you go into the next tournament, there's always going to be that little bit of a boost, with your morale. She tees off for hole number 7. She's with Lee Ga-young and Lee Won, and that trio will be very interesting because we are keeping our focus on them. Very quickly, of course, let's remind you that we've also got 2 other winners to look forward to. Lee Dong-gyun. She too won the DB Group Korea Women's Open Golf Championship on the 15th of June. She tees off for hole number 8 for my money. One of the most consistent, performers in the KLPGA. She always keeps her head above the water, gets to the finale, into the final round. May falter a little bit there, but wonderful golfer to watch. And she kind of stays behind the scenes while Park Hyun Kyung, Lee Yvonne, Yoon Ina, they can play to the gallery. Park Min-ji, I do believe that Lee Dong-gyun is just one of those golfers who just goes about a business like it's a regular day at the office. She, Lee Ga-young, a few of the golfers, very, very subtle with their mannerisms and with the way they are on the course, but wonderful talents to watch in action. So interesting time for us here. The 15th Lotte Open. It's round 1 right here at the Bears Best Cheongna Golf Course, 6,111 meters that we're looking to cover. It's a par 72 for the asking. Just going to look back at last year, and I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, it was a little bit more. It was about 6,880 85 yards that we were looking at. So the total yardage, of course, can be a bit different depending on the pin locators, depending on how each event is set. Interesting time for putts together. It's going to be a bit of time before we actually see any changes, in the standings. And keep in mind the fact that everyone is here today. So there's going to be a trim off towards tomorrow. And a couple of the golfers who've made a little bit of a difference, I would say the dew sweepers, they've already finished their side, 10 after that. So all said and done, I think it's been an interesting day. And if anyone can get, over that 5 under, which Mara Som has put up today, it'll be interesting. Koji Yu, she's carrying a 2 over. A birdie with def contention because she flew the green on this one. But, well, she could have proved me wrong. And I would have just had to tape my mouth shut. Absolutely wonderful effort from Koji Yu. She'll have to keep it to an even score for this hole. But I think, a Cuban for her. She was just so well nailing that. And she finally finishes it. She was very good in the previous tournament. Very, very good. So, much is expected from her. Sometimes that expectation can also put a tad bit of weight on your shoulders. Lee So-young will aim for birdie on hole number 10. And that ball's just played true in for her. Shouldn't be difficult to clean this up. She does pretty much that. That should be fairly easy, as Lee Ga-young will finish off her business and move on. She's still got Koji Yu and Lee Won in there. Lee Won has to get past her moment. It's a fair chance for a birdie here if she can. We'll just gauge those wind speeds in the direction well. It's hole number 7. She needs to get an underscore, on a scorecard. She'll have to keep it to an even score as well. I do like Lee Won's outfit. The top looks very much like it's something out of Star Trek with that design. Very, very funky, actually. I do like the colors. It's kind of a lilac. While Park Hyun-kyung looks bright as ever in her yellow. She's on to a second stroke for hole 8. She'll employ a 6 iron for this. Just a little bit too much of club on that. I think she would have wanted it to land a bit closer to the flagstick. But she's got herself off the rough, and I think that she'll be pleased about that. I do remember, when we had, well, just about a couple of weeks ago, and she was in very good stead when playing the Heaven Masters. Lee Dong-gyun up next. They'll go in with a 50-degree wedge. Looking for a approach shot on hole 8. Just off the carpet area. She'll have to work a little bit for that. She would have liked to have, well, just send it a bit further. I was just talking about Park Hyun-kyung at the Heaven Masters, and when it rained out in the first day, and she actually kept the audiences, the fans, and everybody entertained. She's, well, showed a different side of her. Just like the regular girl, young girl who likes to, have fun like everybody else. And she kept everybody entertained and in good spirits. Well, didn't really finish too well in that. Was a little bit above average for her, but she did. She tees off for hole number 8. So all seems, well, fairly good in terms of the weather conditions, but as I said, the wind speeds can be daunting. It's at a bit of a level. You can see the highway right behind Lee Ga-yong. Tees off for hole number 8. It'll be Ko Ji-yu to go next. Up next, it's Lee Dong-gyun. Remember, she's got to get off the rough and onto the green. It's going to be interesting because I think she was expecting to at least finish off with a birdie, nullified that overscore that she's got, brought it back to an even.
Wow.
So back to the action. As we can see, it's been an interesting time for us in terms of how our golfers have really taken things into their stride. I do believe that they still have to get started as far as the putting is concerned, because it's been a very, very watching time for them. Cho Hai-jin will aim for birdie on hole number 9. And I do believe that, she'll have to keep it on par as well. Cho Hai-jin still carrying an even score. She's had 2 birdies and 2 bogeys, and they're finished with 35 in her first 9. Lee Dong-gyun, meanwhile, will look to keep an even score on hole number 8. It hasn't been the brightest time for her as well, as far as she's concerned. And I think she'd be glad to, just avoid a bogey there. She was aiming for, an underscore, and I think that would be, all it takes is to get just one, putt right, and changes the intensity or the entire, tone of the round for the golfer. And that's interesting when you take that into perspective. Sung Yoo Jin will aim for birdie on hole number 9. That's the 9th hole, by the way. To nullify that bogey that she had, and I think that's a good start. It's always going to be a good start. Just start getting those, putts right. Lee Won will go up next. It's a second stroke for hole 8, and her approach will matter more than anything else. Struck well from her end, but she does land onto the rough. I think she would have been keen to have, just got a bit closer, to her destination more than anything else. Lee Ga-yong goes next. Remember, and that's a much better effort coming in from Lee Ga-yong. She's got herself onto the carpet, and she's done that fairly well. Koji Yu. She's on to a second stroke. She'll be looking at the approach. It's going to be very interesting to watch Koji Yu in action, because coming into this event after a big win, always puts you in the spotlight, and the expectations from the fans. But having said that, it was a third win on the KLPGA tour over a period of time. Park Hyun-kyung tees off for hole 9, and she's had a win as well this year. She won the E1 Charity Open on the 25th of May. days when she really shines and she peaks. And surprisingly, the golfer, of course, who has yet to break here is, or to break ground, is really Hwang Yu-min. So there we go with the leaderboard. Mada Som, Ryo Seung-wi, Seo Kyu-rim. Well, right up there, and we'll keep you in the loop on that. So do stay with us. Was just running through that leaderboard earlier, and Mada Som, of course, finishing with a 5 under. Had a very, very good morning. She was right there, in the dawn patrol. And the reason I'm saying she had a good morning is because she was actually, one of the big performers. 67. Lee Yuan will progress to move through, her next effort. And I do believe she would have liked to have done a little better than that. But Jihan Sol will go on hole 10. Oh, that's a marvelous way to go. An absolutely marvelous effort here from Jihan Sol as she goes up to a 1 under on a 10th hole. She had a bogey and a birdie on the out, so I think she'll be happy about that. And it's a smile for her just to get, well, her campaign started, I do believe. Coach Yu, meanwhile, still needs to do just a tad bit better. And a birdie out of contention here on this hole. Going to be an on-par finish for her too. Park Hyun-kyung onto a second stroke for hole 9, 126 meters to cover. I think her choice will be a 9 iron. I do believe it's going to be interesting to see how well she will go through this approach shot. So here goes Lee Ga-young. Yu Hyun-jo needs to get, well, out of the rough here. It's hole 9. It's absolutely, well, important for her, to, well, just bet balance too. Lee won. Looks to finish on par. 89.19% her par saves per season. And, well, that's going to be a bogey for her. Normally takes a bit more time with the putt. And she's moved up to 1 over with the bogey on hole number 8. Well, here goes Lee Dong-gyun. And that's placed fairly well on the green for her. I do believe that it's still going to be a distance for her, and Lee Dong-gyun really not getting her shots too close to the tin cup as she would have liked. Meanwhile, Lee Ga-young will look to finish with an even score here on hole 8. And I just said this, the top 10 golfers in this event, they've been going through the motions, especially those that started off in the late morning or the early afternoon. The rest of them, of course, have, the morning was a much brighter time. Lee Ga-young tees off for hole number 9. Gaining a good bit of distance there on the fairways, and I think that's gonna well just keep her pleased, because she would like to, well, she always aims to one thing about Lee Ga-yong, and if you notice, while Lee Yvonne comes up with those great approach shots, Lee Ga-yong, it's more about her tee off, and a tee off is always the setting or the stepping stone for what you can expect after that. Now, yes, Koji Yu. The third bogey for Yu Hyun Jo.
첫 번째 거 조금 약하게 친 느낌이 났어. 그 순간적으로. 잘 들어가는
So Lee Dong-gyun are still going through the motions herself. A beautiful day, actually. If you just look at the way the greens look, absolutely always tell the color, or the shade of temperature by the shades of green that you can see. And the color temperature seems very, very good here today. So I do believe it's been, well, a good start for some, but a challenging one for our golfers. Hey, I love a challenge, and I think if that's going to work in terms of the content, we'll now move on to her second stroke for hole 9. Here's Lee Gayong. Up next, it's going to be Koji Yu. Second stroke for hole number 9. And while all is set, Lee Chae-yoon aims for birdie on hole number 11. It's a bit of a distance for her, 8.1 meters. Keep in mind the fact that she's got a bit of a slope to deal with, and that's downwards, a descent that we're looking at. She's on an even score, and I think she will be a bit cautious about that. Oh, wonderfully done. Wonderfully done. Kept it fairly straight, nothing fancy there. And that's going to be her first birdie of the day. So Lee Chae-yoon, or second birdie, sorry, nullifies her bogey in that first 9. And she's up to 1 under back again. Started really well. Then, of course, well, third stroke, needs to get out of the beach. Oh, that's a good effort. That is a very good effort to get herself out of a tight spot. So Mara Som with a 5 under there. Roh Seung-hui, Seo Kyu-rim and Park Hae-jun sit in tied second with 4 under. They've all finished their day's event. Mara Som with 67 and the trio tied second with 68. And then you've got the tied fifth with a score of 69. Still in there is Choi Min Kyung, who's got 3 under. So she's got a chance to actually get up to a tied second if she can just nail a birdie and maybe a tied first. As we progress. So I think a lot of the golfers still do have a lot to offer, but more importantly, it depends on how well they can actually come to the party today. So all said and done, it's going to be a very, very interesting event for us. Stay with us, don't go anywhere as we continue with our coverage of the Lotte Open. This is the 15th Lotte Open. Lotte. Participation in sport has always been a fantastic one, or even in entertainment for that matter. So everything from gum to pies to the Lotte cider. It's something that I have even now, kind of mandatory every time that I'm down in Korea Republic. Absolutely love it. Straight out of the airport, and I probably get one. Is the defending champion. She won it last year. Koji, of course, just won the previous tournament. You've also got Roh Seung-hui, who has performed very well today to finish in tied second. And, we might see more of her. She's been, kind of tapping on that door that Lee won Open by winning 3 events. And I think Roh Seung-hui will be very keen on a second win. Don't discount Lee Dong-gyun and Park Hyun-kyung, who are still in there very much as well. So our event continues right here. Golf, and that was Jack Nicklaus. So this is, a course that was designed by him, and it's got the Jack Nicklaus trademark. He loves the greens more than any other colors. Some golfers do like a lot of flora and fauna that plays off pinks and greens and purple and blues and yellows. the 15th Lotte Open. It's been a good start for us in terms of well, how things have well progressed from the morning, and we will find out how things get ahead. Lee Gayong will go on next. And that's going to sail past the destination as well. So Lee Gayong will go on next. Goji Yu has gone through a lot of the motions here today. Lee won. Up next it's going to be Pak Yun Kyung, second stroke for hole number 10. You've got a good bit of music coming there as well. Lee So Young will aim for birdie on hole number 13. Lee Young gets ready next. Up next, it's going to be Koji Yu as she tees off. This is going to be an interesting one because it's hole number 10 that we're looking at in the 2025 season. Par score 4.726. She's gained some ground there on the fairways. Well, I think she should be fairly pleased with that one. Lee Won will tee off for hole number 10 next. Remember, it's a par 5 for the asking, 484 meters to cover. Kyung Kyung, she needs to uplift herself as well. She's been going through, well, the motions in today's event hasn't really got started. She's of course with Lee Dong Gyun. Lee Dong Gyun herself, known by, well, day 2 or 3. Up next is Choi Hai-jin, 101 meters to the hole, going in with a second stroke for hole 11. Park Hyun Kyung will go next. It's hole number 10 that she's looking at. That's just going to trickle forward. I don't think she was expecting to, well, break new ground as such here. Lee Dong-gyun up next. A fourth stroke as she aims for a birdie on hole number 10. And she'll have to keep it to an own par score. Park Hyun Kyung needs to finish this on par to keep that even score. It's hole number 10 that she's looking at. Up next it's Lee Ga-yong. Here's Ko Ji-yu. Ko Ji-yu needs 225 meters to the hole, going in with the second stroke on hole number 10. Cho Hae-jin goes next. Lee Dong-gyun. Well, tees off. Park Hyun Kyung will go on next. And Lee Won will get on to her third stroke for hole number 10. Decent enough placement from her, and I think she should be happy about that. Marason right up there with 5 under and a score of 67, and you've got that tied second trio of Ryo Seung-hui, Seo Kyu-rim, and Park Hae-jun. What a near miss here as Lee Ga-yong takes this through. And that's straight on to the green from her. It's going to be an interesting bat. Lee Won aims for birdie on hole number 10. Cho Hai-jin will tee off for hole number 12. She's going in with the 7-iron. It's Ko Ji-yu who's up next, and she'll aim for a birdie. This could be her first one. Not a lot of distance to cover here on hole 10. And that brings her down to a 1 under. Starts off her back nine on a positive note. Lee Ga-yong also gets her birdie to bring it to an even score. And just another narrow miss here. Lee Ga-yong will tee off for hole number 11, 355 meters to cover. It's a par 4 for the asking. Remember, it'll be a very, very interesting one for us. Lee Dong-gyun will go next. She'll aim for birdie on hole 11. Most of the golfers have been getting their even scores, and I think, bringing their scorecard down to an even, and I think it's a chance for her here. Bit of a distance to cover. Oh, that's beautifully done. Marvelous shot there from Lee Dong-gyun, and she'll tip her visor to that. So she's, the 11th hole, she gets a birdie. 2 birdies in there. She had a buzzard, of course, in that front 9, and that was a bit of an undoing for her, but she's down to an even score as well, and that's worked out well. No flora and fauna, no flowers or leaves that are red, but you 155 meters. It'll be an interesting thing. Well, one for her too. Choi Hai-jin will aim for birdie on hole number 2. On hole number 12, sorry. And that's going to be a bit of a challenge for her. She'll have to keep it to an even score too. Can be trying times, for our golfers here. Yu Hyun Jo will go next as she aims for birdie on hole number 11. And that's his skip past the destination. Don't think she'd be too happy about it. Choi Yun Woo undoes the 2 bogeys there with a birdie, and she'll be happy about that. Anything to get restarted. Choi Hai-jin finishes on par as well. Just missed out on a birdie a while back.
노멀하게 치면 돼.
Lee Won, second stroke on hole 11. And Park Hyun Kyung is back to her, well, happy self. Just kind of finding herself in that heat. With her notes. That's an easier way to absorb them, wouldn't it be? And Ko Ji-yu needs to get out of the cat box. It's been, well, a bit of a surprise for her. Her approach shot will depend on this. It's quite a 117 meters. But I wouldn't put it past her. As I said, she's been in good form. And from one beach to the other. I think just a bit too much of club on that for her. Lee Ga-young, second stroke for hole 11. She's carrying an even score. Sonny Bin. First stroke on hole number 1. Did I say first stroke? Well, that's a tee off. Lee Dong-gyun, Park Yun-kyung, they all will have had their fair share of battles to go through today. Having said that, a tee-off can always be a good one, can always be a good way to actually set the tone, for the event. Park Yun-kyung will now tee off for hole number 12. Park Yun-kyung. Well, decent form here. She'll just sit on the border of the green. I don't think she'll complain too much about that. What an amazing start here for Park as well. Having a word there with her caddy. And a bit of an exodus there as our golfers move on to the next destination where they'll take their stroke, which will be the second stroke. Meanwhile, Lee Yvonne is here on the green. And she's got a birdie in mind for hole 11. She needs to bring her score down to an even. I think that'll be the main attempt here. Oh, what a near miss. What a near miss. It'll have to be an on par for her here. And that's what it is. Hasn't been the brightest, beginning for her, I do believe. Lee So-young onto a second stroke for hole 15. Lee Ga-young needs to get off the border. Will be an effort for a birdie on hole 11. Wouldn't put it past her. And that ball almost spinning towards its destination. Just afraid of the dark. And another, on par finish for Lee Ga-young. Lee Dong-gyun with her second effort, and she's on hole 12 as well. Lee Dong-gyun just trying to, pull herself together. She had a birdie in the previous hole. I think she'll be very, very keen on, finishing better. Well, a lot of the golfers, will be trimmed off as we get into day 3. But having said that, you still want to see some of those top golfers, well, in there applying their trade. An Seong-gi is carrying a 4-over score. Will aim for birdie on hole. Well, that's well done. Very, very heartening year for An Seong-gi. Well, that would have been a wonderful effort. I think just a bit too much of a push there from Park Hyun-kyung as she misses out, well, on an underscore. Lee So-young aiming for birdie on hole 15. She'll have to putt for an on-par finish. Meanwhile, it's Yoo Hyun-jo who is with Park Hyun-kyung and Lee Dong-gyun. She's got a chance here to get an underscore as well. She's stuck on 3 over for quite a period of time. And she'll pick up the smile as well. Park Hyun-kyung looking on par finish here for hole number 12. And Lee Ga-young will just touch herself up. Well, in the heat. Well, besides getting a bit of foundation on, you definitely want to... And Lee Yvonne also going through the same. I do love our golfers. Unlike the men who don't even really bother But our ladies always looking elegant. Lead on Gunya to finish on par for hole number 12. And yes, she does. Well, I don't know if you've been a part of it, but some of the Korean cosmetic products, they now make a foundation that has a kind of a wet, a sponge under, and that foundation actually stays on your face the whole day. Ask me how I know. I don't use it. Tees off, hole number 1. Had a very different follow through for this one. Lee Chae-yoon will aim for birdie on hole number 14. And she goes up to a 2 under. I think she'll be very happy about that. Let's leave on next. She tees off for hole number 12. Of the events on the KLPGA, keep in mind the fact that and on the final day it'll be a packed house, especially if the weather holds up. Lee Ga-yong will aim for birdie on hole number 12. And that's just tipped past her counterparts while marking. It's Yu Hyun Jo who'll go on next. Employing an 8 iron, 130 meters to cover. Go Ji-yu aims for birdie on hole number 12. And I think she'll finally be happy. And I think this is fairly interesting for her. So she did have a bogey there on hole number 11, but she's come back with a birdie, and it looks to be interesting. Now An Yun-ju will go on next. She's got a 2-under score as she tees off for hole number 1. She did hook that finally strong, so I think it's a pretty bit of a firm tee off from her.
합의하진 않았잖아요. 네? 오빠가
Park Hyun-kyung will attempt a full stroke for hole 13. That's definitely going to be a bogey for her, of course. Said and done. Be interesting. I do believe that she will do well better what she's also doing. Well, more importantly, besides anything else, I think what the golfers will have to do is we'll just try and figure out, where they've been going a few, well, ups and downs. Decent enough or terrific placement there. Absolutely terrific placement. And I think that's what you really require when the positioning is concerned as far as the, well, green is concerned. So all said and done, I do believe that, well, as the day progresses, we are going to find out, well, who those front runners would be. Madasom still holding her own at the top. Koji Yu on next as she tees off for hole number 13. Well, struck fairly hard from her end. And I believe she'll be very keen on really making the difference here. Up next, it's going to be Lee Gai-yong. As I said, as the days build up, by the time we get to day 4, it's going to be an extensive one. So for the time being, it should be, well, good enough for the golfers to get that support. Cho Hai-jin onto a third stroke for hole 14. Kyun Kyung. Well, she did get herself into a bit of a rough spot, and she'll probably land up bogeying the 13th hole. She needs to keep herself strong to avoid a buzzard. And I think just a tad bit impulsive there, and that's been a bit of a worrier for her on hole 13. Just after the tee off, it wasn't the best for her, and I think that's just going to drag her score down quite a bit. Having said that, Lee Chae-yoon has got a chance to go up to a 3 under. She's on hole 15. And that's close enough to, well, the destination for her. As long as she can keep an even score, she'll keep that 2 under untouched. And I think that should work for her. So interesting how some of the golfers are really, upping their performance here today. But we've still got our focus on that main trio that we looked at earlier. Sung Yoo-jin onto her third stroke for hole 14. Yoo Hyun Jo onto her third stroke for hole 13, aims for a birdie, and that's well done by her. So Yoo Hyun Jo Well, consecutive birdies there on hole number 12 and 13. Had 3 bogeys in that first 9. Park Yun Kyung. That'll be a buzzard for her. On hole 13, she goes up to a 3 over. Well, she had a very unblemished, out. So the in just being a bit of a problem for her. Haven't seen too much of Park Min-ji today, I would believe. Lee Won onto her second stroke for hole 13. Yoo Hyun Jo will tee off for hole 14. Lee Ka-young goes next. Park Yun Kyung will tee off for hole 14 now. Sung Yoo Jin will aim for birdie on hole number 14. Just a gentle tap in from her there. So there we go. It's Mada Som right at the top still with that 5 under. Ryo Seung-wi, Seo Kyu-rim and Park Hae-jun still stuck as a trio with 4 under in tied second. And then you've got Bang Shin-sil, Hong Jun-min, Cho Ha-yeon and Jeong Yoon-ji with the 3 under stuck with Jung Ji-won and Jaravi Bunchant, who's through hole 11 and she's been a mover. So it'll be interesting to see how she performs today. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere as we continue with our coverage of the 15th Lotte Open, and we are coming at you live from the Kang Ji-sun to tee off for hole 1. It's a par 4 for the asking as she gets into position. Ko Ji-yu needs to get out of the rough here. Well, does fairly well. He's got herself well close to the flag stick, and I think that should work for her. And that's tapped and easy. Got herself out of a bit of a rough spot. Meanwhile, Park Yoon-kyung needs to shake off, well, the worries of a buzzer previously. She's carrying a 3-over score. Her approach shot will matter here on hole number 14. Up next, it's Lee Won. As she aims for birdie on hole 13. Oh, that's just lipped out. That is one stubborn ball. It's definitely not one of Lee Won's favorites, if you know what I mean. Well, that just slipped out in a crazy manner, didn't it? Just caught the wrong. Well, there will be an on par for her. Well, she certainly tried her best. Here's Yoo Hyun Jo on to her third stroke for hole 14. Lee Ga-young aims to finish on par for hole number 13, and that's exactly what she does to keep herself in good stead.
그러니까 아니 페리가 엄청 저 거리를 엣지하다.
Lee Dong-gyun will go up next. Not a bad effort from her. Had a bit of a chilly dip there. Well, the surface of the fairways always matters a lot, regardless, you know, whenever you're looking at, well, how things progress. Ko Ji-yu, he's off for hole number 14 now. Well, she's got a lot riding on her shoulders. You know, she'll be aiming for back-to-back wins because Normally the best thing to do, of course, would be to keep, well, the momentum going, you know, if you performed well. And Lee Ga-yong tees off next for hole 14. It's a par 5 for the asking, 497 meters to cover in all. Leave on. She would definitely love to do a lot better than she currently is stuck at. And well, she's gained a bit of distance on the fairways. Is that going to be good enough for her? Well, I think it's left to be seen. Yu Yun-jo aiming for birdie on hole number 14. That was a well-crafted banana effort, but just bent a little bit too early. And she'll finish that. Don't think it'll be too much of a cause for concern, but as long as she doesn't hit, well, the birdies, I mean the bogeys or the buzzards, she should be good for now. Choi Hai-jin, second stroke on hole 15. Lee Dong-gyun will go up next. Also aiming for birdie on hole 14. And another narrow miss for her as well. Well, that slope just being a bit of a worry. I would love to see how Park Hyun-kyung goes with that, but it's meanwhile Lee on back again as she goes on to a second stroke for hole 14. Here we are back to Park Hyun-kyung. Well, her chances of nailing a birdie are the closest, but still she's got to conquer that slight slope that dips towards the right. Oh, well played. Well played here as Park Hyun-kyung just draws one back after a buzzard on hole 13, brings the score back down to a 2 over. Lee Ga-yong with her second stroke for hole 14. There's a lot to expect from Lee Ga-yong as well in today's event. Meanwhile, Sung Yoo-jin looks for an underscore here on hole 15, and that's going to sail past the destination. Just needed a bit more of an angle, I do believe. And that's the hole-in-one event that we're looking at currently. Here's Lee on. And I think just a little bit, loose-ended with that approach shot. You could make out that on a follow-through, wasn't entirely in control of it. I think she's got herself onto the rough. Might have just escaped the beach, but we'll have to find out when she actually gets to that spot. But it certainly looks like it's sitting on the grass, just off the sand. So that shouldn't be too much of a bother for her, but she'll have to, gauge the elevation when she takes that shot. Lee Gayong next. She's on to a third stroke for hole 14. Not the best positioning from her. She's had better days. But having said that, she's still got a couple more holes to play for here. It's been a very interesting day for us. I think the birdies have been very elusive. A few have found them and then lost them again to a bogey. Choi Hai-jin carrying an even score. She's on to hole 15. Can she nail? Needs a good bit of a turn on that. And I think that just turned a bit too early for her. And while many miss out on a birdie, Lee So-young will aim for eagle on hole number 18. It'll be a fantastic way to end the day's event if she can nail it good. Well, can't help but feel just a little bit awful for her. It would have been such a wonderful end to the day, but there she goes with the birdie. And I think that positive should make her happy. So 33 on the out, 38 on the in. She had a buzzer there, but I think she'll be pretty pleased with her. It's been a mixed bag for her, actually. Now, Lee won. Remember, she needed to get out, and it looks like she's actually, on the beach itself. I was under the impression that would have been on the grass, but well-constructed effort from her. Very well done here by Lee Won. And a quick tap in will just finish the challenge of this hole for her. Park Hyun-kyung gaining a good bit of ground as she tees off for hole 15, and I think she'll be fairly pleased with that effort. Remember, she was just coming back into her own. Meanwhile, it's Lee Gayong here who looks to get a birdie on hole number 14. And that's just turned a bit too early. Lee Ga-yong herself, well, she got herself down to an even score. And to be fair, in her trio, she has been one of the stronger performers. And that's just going to sail way past the tin cup. Bit too much of club on that one. The Lotte Open will always bring its fair share of surprises. Park Joo-young, we missed seeing her, and she'll move on to aiming for birdie on hole 18. She's carrying a 4 over as well. That's gently tapped in. Another one of those stylistic golfers, and she's had a whole lot of bogeys in there. But she finished today's event, didn't have a day at the office on the out. Lee Ga-yong will look to rectify things and just stay within the navigational beacons of even scores, and she can do that if she finishes on par here for hole 14. And I think not taking any chances is the right thing to do at this stage of the event. Well, if you keep your final day score to an even or an under, there's always a chance that, when the fat gets, I hate saying that for the ladies, but when the excess gets trimmed off, and then of course you have the golfers that make it through to day 3. An Song-yi aims for birdie on 18. She's carrying a 3 over and needs to change that, to finish today's event. And well done. If you can finish with an underscore, at least it'll pull a smile on your face, as it's done for her. 38 on the out, 36 on the in, a 2 over score. She's had about 5 bogeys in there, and that's been a bit of an undoing for her. But An Song-yi will be glad with a birdie at the end. Meanwhile, it's Jihan Sol who'll aim for an underscore on hole number 17. She's got a 1 under, which is actually very valuable at this point of time. Just sitting there on the border. That ball, definitely afraid of the dark, but needs a bit of coaxing, and an even score will work for her. So no worries here for Jihan Sol. She's still got a 1 under and 1 more hole to play for. Park Yoon-kyung, second stroke for hole 15. 119 meters to cover. You can hear the strains of that music there. We've got a great DJ in house today. I can only imagine the music that he's going to rip out for that final round. Also keeps the golfers, some golfers actually do not like music that is electronic. Oh, lovely placement there from Park Yoon-kyung. Absolutely wonderful placement from her. And I do know it's the strangest thing if you talk about music and how it affects golfers. Well, certain golfers do like music, and it actually motivates them. Oh, that's a very confident effort from her to finish that off, and I think she'll be happy about it. Did have a fair share of worries here today, but a good enough finish for her. Meanwhile, Yoo Hyun-jo onto a second stroke for hole 15. And we're just talking about music. One of the most famous golfers, and I remember over a period of time, and he was the kind of golfer that whenever he had a break or moved on from hole to hole, he always had his earbuds in, and he'd be listening to the psychedelic rock band the Grateful Dead. And second stroke for hole 15 for Lee Dong-gyun. And I remember whenever this golfer would win a tournament, he would always, well, his opening speech would be "God bless the Grateful Dead." And it's a great band, country rock band. Having said that, some golfers do prefer classical music like Bach. It really depends on each person. Haven't heard of any that like metal or really progressive rock so far, but maybe just maybe a progressive metal. Wonderful shot as always. There's drone shots that give us a look at the concrete portions that surround the golf course. You got a couple of houses all right round, and they look very beautiful. There's a couple of buildings as well, nothing too high, and then there's the skyscrapers on the other end. But here's a quick look at the standings. Mara Som with a 5 under, still at the top. She finished with 67. Ryo Seung-wi, Seo Kyu-rim, and Park Hae-jun staying behind her and tied second with 4 under and a score of 68. And then Bang Shin-sil did very well to finish with 3 under and a score of 69 and tied fifth. And she, of course, had a whole lot of other competitors and friends. And she still has got much to play for. She could finish higher up the league as the day progresses. Lee Dong-gyun aiming for birdie on hole 15. We'll just need a gentle tap in. And that should give her an even score. It's Park In Kyung next. I think just a tad bit impulsive on that. That did demand a bit of a turn there, and well, she'll have to keep an even score for this.
살짝 우측으로 들어가야 돼. 어차피 바람도 뒤훅이야.
Lee Won up next. Very strong club on that, but she'll sit just on the border. A birdie still can be achieved, but I think the wind's going to be against her for this one. Up next, it's going to be Lee Ga-young, needs to get off the rough. Lee Ga-young will tee off for hole number 16. Now that's gaining a good bit of distance for her. Go GU, second stroke for hole 15. And she's got herself plumb on the border as well, I would believe. Yoo Hyun Jo up next, first stroke on hole 16.
여기 8번이죠?
Lee Chae-yoon, an approach shot for her. Choi Hai-jin next as she aims for birdie on hole number 16. Just missing out on nailing that. Will just need a gentle nudge to finish with an on par. And I think most of the golfers not getting, those birdies or getting those putts right is a bit of an issue. She's had 2 bogeys and 2 birdies on the out, but on the in, it's a fairly clean slate for her. Park Bo-kyung, 3rd stroke for hole 18.
지한솔 박보경 이치 선수에게 박수를 부탁드리겠습니다.
Choi Hai-jin will tee off for hole number 17. It's been quite a ride for her. Coach Yu next. Park Kyung will try her luck. It's a good bit of a whip behind that, and she does land herself onto the green. That's fairly well struck, I would say. Needs to cover a good bit of distance if she wants to get an underscore, but I do believe it'll be a challenge for her here. And another birdie missed. And Jihan Sol will finish the day's event with 35 on the out, 36 on the in, and a 1 underscore. Not the finest, but I think it'll just do her well. Up next, it's Lee Yvonne. And right there on that hole too, Lee Yvonne just missing out on finding the tin cup. Lee Chae-yoon aims for birdie on hole 18. Would be a good way for her to end the day. But she'll have to claim an even score instead. I think she'd like to finish off her day's efforts too. And there she goes. Lee Chae-yoon finishes with a 2 under and an even score, 35 on the out, 30. Not a bad performance at all from her. Lee Dong-gyun. She's still on an even score. It's on to hole, well, 16, and this will be her approach shot.
여러분의 박수를 부탁드리겠습니다.
Lee Ga-young will land up bogeying that, and that isn't going to work well for her. I think didn't take too much of a time.
여러분의 박수를 부탁드리겠습니다.
There it is. Just a bit too much of a tap on that one. Needed to be slightly gentler, I would believe. I've actually been surprised by the day's event, and you know, some of our top golfers just kind of missing the bus on most of the efforts. Park Bo-kyum will look to finish her day with a birdie here on hole 18, and that's good enough for her to finish on a positive. Brings her score down to one over, 37 on the out, and she had, of course, a buzzard and 2 bogeys, which was pretty much her undoing.
갤러리 플라자 인포메이션 부스에서 선물로 교환해 가시기 바라겠습니다. 갤러리 플라자 인포메이션 부스에서 선물로 교환해 가세요.
Coach Yu goes next, and they're on to hole number 16 as we get closer towards the end of the day's event. 3 more holes to go for our main trio here.
갤러리 플라자 인포메이션 부스에서 선물로 교환해 가세요.
Lee Dong-gyun up next. She looks to finish with a birdie on hole number 16. Remember, it was always going to be a challenge for her. And that will fall shy of the tin cup. It'll also give her a chance to perform better. Lee Won up next. I did mention that out to the first, the top does look like it's out of one of the Star Trek, a more stylistic Star Trek uniform. Only the top. She's got that lilac skirt on. Look unique today. Always love golfers' outfits, and that's what I mean. Just have a look at that. They always bring something to the table that looks different. And some of them do start a trend as well. Now here's Lee Ga-young. She tees off for hole 16. Park Hyun-kyung, third stroke for hole 16. That's absolutely marvelous from her. They've come in from a distance. A lovely birdie there on hole 16. And a bit of joy for her as she's down to 1 over now. You know, that buzzard was really the big problem on the in. Absolutely marvelous putt from Park Hyun Kyung. Meanwhile, Choi Hae-jin goes next, looking to finish on par for hole 17. So one more hole to play for here. Joe. We'll aim for birdie on hole 16. And that's narrowly going to miss her destination. I do believe that with 2 more holes to play for, these golfers would be keen on, you know, doing the best that they can and here on this hole for, well, Yoo Hyun Jo. Lee Dong-gyun will contemplate what her next move should be. Well, that's well played by Lee Dong-gyun. Gets a cheer from well, the fans as she acknowledges it. Lee Won onto her second effort for hole 16. Also now with the approach shot, it's going to be Lee Ga-yong. Second stroke here for hole 16. Also not entirely in control of that stroke. Lee Ga-yong did stretch it a little bit, and it's at buttons from the Tin Cup now. Ko Ji-yu, we're just consulting a caddy before she can, well, move in with the shot. I think it's the right thing to do. Approach shot will matter for hole number 16. there you can see the buildings all around. On one section there's more of houses and bungalows. We're right behind actually Park Yun Kyung, and then to her right you can see all the high structured buildings with the tall floors. Goes in with a 5 number 17 as she tees off. Yu Hyun Jo will tee off for hole 17 now, using a 6 iron, a par 3 for the asking. Sung Yoo Jin onto a second stroke for hole 18, 4.7 meters elevation, 199 meters to cover. Lee Dong-gyun up next. And what a beautiful sight. Almost looks like a walk in the park there for our golfers. Jo Hai-jin onto a second stroke for hole 18. Lee Ga-young will go on next. It's a bit of a distance for her to cover, but she'll aim for it. Right here on hole 16. She needs to get herself back to an even score. That just skipped past it, didn't it? It just skipped past it. And Lee Ga-young has just got that ability to turn, the heat on at certain times. Go to you up next. Lee Jung-min onto a hook for hole 18. big applause as always as we finish here. Some of our golfers having finished their day's event, but Lee Vaughan is still at it on hole 16. She aims for birdie here. It'll be interesting to see if she can nail. She's got the wind speeds up against her. Oh, well played. That is a terrific, absolutely terrific putt from Lee Vaughan, and finally brings herself back to an even score. Bogey in the out, a birdie on the in. She's got 2 more holes, and she's a happy camper now. It's taken a bit of time to work, but that's what you do. You keep, pecking away as much as you can before you can, well, get your score back to an even. Yu Hyun Jo aims for birdie on hole 17. Bit of a tough ask, and she's just narrowly missed out. Yu Hyun Jo, well, doing her bit, but Ko Ji-woo meanwhile, well, as long as she can keep that even score, it matters. Quick on the caddy. Lee Gayon up next. She's looking to finish on par for hole number 16. Taking her own time with it, Lee Gayon. She knows she cannot make any mistakes here. She doesn't want to jeopardize the score. Definitely doesn't want to be ejected from, the event. Of course, most of the golfers will still be in the event, but remember, it's the ones that go further down the line on the leaderboard that will themselves out of the championship. And Lee Gayon does well. Sun Yoo-jin will aim for eagle on hole number 18. A birdie might be more achievable, but having said that, close enough, but not close enough to perfect, but she'll still be happy with it. Here's Park Hyun Kyung. Will aim for birdie on hole 17. And that's just slipped out gently. And Park Hyun Kyung will be a happy camper here as well. Having a quick joke there with the caddy. Does not want to give that ball back to him. And elsewhere on the course, it's over to Choi Hyun-jin. He's aiming for eagle on hole 18. She'll have to wait for more points later. Choi Hyun-jin finishing with 35 on the out, 37 on the in, finishes the last hole with a birdie, and she's got reason to be proud. Lee Dang-gyun up next. Big tip of the visor there from Lee Dong-gyun too. And that's another birdie install as Sun Yoo-jin finishes with 34 on the out, 36 on the in, 2 under, and that's going to be a fairly pleasant score for her to get back in today's event with a birdie too. Love that shot, always very, very picturesque. It always looks like a painting, any drone shot, especially on a clear day. And it's that's the Bears' best coach, which was, created by, or which was done or designed by Jack Nicklaus. And that's fairly good enough, I would believe. Just required a gentle push. Getting close to the flagstick matters. Lee, Yvonne and her trio. And here we go, that hole-in-one event, hole number 17. And that's struck nice and hard by Koji Yu. So Koji Yu will just Lee Ga-young goes next. Remember, she still has a 1 over. It's a par 3 for the asking. If she can land, well, this effort really flagstick that might go to a better score line. That ball just danced around the curved edges and the slight slope.
Wish I could tell you that the rumors weren't true. Wish I had learned how to lie. I made mistakes and they were only good. I cut our hearts on the line. Lying is for politicians. You said it was definition. I was wrong, we both know that's the truth.
Park Hyun-kyung has gone up next. And she's just been, going in leaps and bounds, started off the day slow. And there we go, nice placement on the green. Don't know whether that'll earn her a birdie, but she's pretty much coming to the end of her day's event too. Very quickly, let me remind you, of course, that we are coming at you live from the Bears' Best in Cheongna. This is the 15th in 2025. Joe will go up next. It's a second stroke for hole 18. She's landed herself on the green as well. Park Hyun Kyung really coming out with a few stellar, efforts just a while back, and I think that's made a difference. Here's Coach EU. And I think she'll be pleased as punch to have finished her efforts too. She's still got a lot to play for if she gets back in tomorrow. And well, it's hard for me to gauge which of the golfers will be in or not. That will be totaled at the end of the day. Lee Ga-young here aiming for birdie on hole 17. And she's missed out. Once again, we'll have to settle for an even score. Here's Lee Dong-gyun, second stroke for hole 18. She's got a good bit behind that. Did excellent form there, and that's carried right through onto, well, the green for her. Hole 18 is a very interesting one because almost anyone and everyone can aim for a eagle depending on how far you can drive it, and your tee off is so important here. Meanwhile, Lee won't. And she's done well. She'll be happy about that. And sheer joy for her, as you can see. Just a quick look at, well, the Lotte Open itself. Remember, last year it was won by Lee Ga-young in 2024. And will be interesting to see how well this year plays out. Got a couple of fans here. So Cho Hai-jin won the event in 2020. And in 2022 it was Sung Yoo Jin. So Yoo Hyun Jo going up next. I think she's got to decide which way it's going to turn. It's quite a distance for her to cover. This will probably be our last play of the day before we can move on to the highlights. As I said, not the brightest, not the flashiest of days for any of the golfers. The morning session was an exciting one. I think it's just turning over later. Yoo Hyun Jo will aim for eagle here on hole 18. 20.2 meters is quite a distance. Absolutely stunning as Yoo Hyun Jo finishes with an eagle, and she's kind of redeemed herself of those 3 bogeys in the out, 38 on the out, 33 on the in, 2 birdies and an eagle there. and she finishes with 1 under. What a beautiful way to finish for Yoo Hyun Jo, and I'm just as excited as she is for herself. Absolutely wonderful putt from her. Just the right amount of push. And that expression says it all. Well, that's the expression you would have when you win a tournament. So wonderful. What her other two counterparts do now. Park Hyun Kyung also aiming from eagle. Remember, it's from a different direction. And she's just going to fall shy of that.
이것은 뿌리입니다.
Lee Dong-gyun also aiming for eagle, 9.9 meters to cover. And I think just falling shy of that, she had too gentle a push on this one. I think Lee Dong-gyun will look to finish. A birdie for tomorrow's event. And there we finish with a 1 under as well, 36 on the out, 35 on the in, and a rare smile. You don't see that too often from Lee Dong-gyun. But that's a good finish for her. Now it's left to Park Hyun Kyung also to finish with a bird. Yes, Park Hyun Kyung. And she's finished with the birdie too. What a joy as our trio all finish. Well, 1 eagle and 2 birdies in there. What a fabulous way to finish this event. And Park Hyun Kyung, quick hug there for you. about an average day, golf in this round. And here we finished off in a fantastic manner. And you, Joe, probably giving us the play of the day. It'll be very interesting because that eagle certainly flew very confident. So here we go with the highlights for the day. First up, it's going to be, the third hole. Was fairly well done here for Jong Yoon Ji. And then, of course, there on the fifth hole, decent enough placement. Needed to finish well here. And on the third hole, Punch and Sill doing extremely well. No Sung-hae. She did extremely well too. She had, a couple of birdies to start off her day. That was an absolutely fine move there. And then on the eighth hole, Mara Son, she was resplendent with her efforts. She was in tied third at the time. Set herself up beautifully for a birdie. That was perfect placement from her. And of course, on the third hole, on the ninth hole, Mara Son looking to claim the lead. Finished off with the birdie to claim the first position with a 5 under score. Meanwhile, No Sung-hae, she performed extremely well too to finish with that. Ro Sung-hae finishing with a 3 under. It's a joy to watch her actually. And then Yoo Hyun Jo giving us that absolutely stunning eagle, and that was such a beautiful way, to end the day's action. Absolutely, really. 5 under and a final score of 67. Ryo Seung-hui, Seo Kyo-rim and Park Hae-jun in tied second with 4 under and a score of 68. And then of course you've got that quintet, Bang Shin-sil with a whole lot of her counterparts in tied 5th, and all of them have a 3 under score, just giving you who the stars are: Bang Shin-sil, Hong Jun-min, Cho Ayan, Jong Yoon-ji and Hong Ji-won, along with Choi Ka-bin, all with a 3 under score. So that's it for round 1. We were coming at you live from the Bears Best in Cheongna, Incheon. We'll be back tomorrow, of course, with round 2. My name is Glenn Mascarenas, and I do hope you've enjoyed the jaw. Do take care. Catch you again tomorrow at the same time in round 2. Bye-bye for now.